Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Speak your success in the morning. Let's go. What's going on, good people? Welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome to Speak Your Success in the Morning. Y'all, this is your favorite morning show. We go live Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard to 7 a.m. Central Standard every single morning. I hope you're having an amazing morning today. And y'all, today is 12/30/2025. It's a great day to be alive. We're getting ready to roll right into that new year. I hope you're ready. I hope you got your confetti. I hope you got your silver ball, or disco ball. I hope you got your Martinelli's non-alcoholic, or your champagne if that's what you popping. But y'all, we're getting ready to roll into a new year, so I hope you're ready to roll with us. All right. So want to kick this show off, y'all. It's been a couple of days. I know. I got to talk to the elephant in the room. It's been a couple of days, right? We took some days off. We took a Christmas break. And then what happened next? And then next thing you know, after taking a Christmas break, well, guess what? Then the break just turned into another break. And then we just kept breaking. And we're here now. So, y'all, without further ado, want to go ahead and get into today's show. We always talk a little bit about what we ate for dinner last night to kick off the show. So for me, luckily, what I got to enjoy just a little bit of some baby back ribs. Had the pleasure of having some leftovers. And why did I have some leftovers? Because just a few days ago, my wife and I got to celebrate our 6th anniversary. Y'all, come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Look. We got to celebrate our 6th wedding anniversary. And for any of my people out there who are married, or any of my people out there who desire to get married, I just want you to know 6 years ain't nothing to sneeze at. You understand me? Yeah, that was weak. I'm talking about 6 years, man. Shout out to my wife celebrating 6 years of being married, and celebrating 6 years of being together. So, man, that has been a journey. It's been a joy, but we've learned a lot. And I want to just show y'all my wife. Y'all might not have seen my wife before. So I want to make sure to not shortchange her and not shortchange y'all, because I want y'all to see my wife, man. And y'all, outside of that, as we're getting ready to roll into the new year, like I said before, we're getting ready to roll into the new year. I don't want you all to miss some of this content that we're gonna get ready to break into. But before we do that, like I said, y'all. So this is my wife here, and shout out to her. Shout out to my wife, right? Shout out to her dealing with me over these 6 years. This is us at the Margarita Ball some time ago, right? And then this is us when we're taking our engagement photos. As you can't really see it there, but behind us is the skyline of Dallas, right? So that this is one of my favorite photos of her and I. This is one of my favorite photos of her and I. And then right here, this is when we were at the candy shop. I forgot what the name of the spot was called, but it's one of those pop-ups where you go in, you take pictures and everything like that. And you see the initials up there in the back. You already know what it is. That's my wife, okay? That's not your wife. That's my wife, okay? And then right here, this was the day that we got married. Yeah. Soon as we said our nuptials and everything like that, this was us taking our photos. And shout out to Jaron Collins, JCI Creative. Shout out to him, because he was the one who took care of our photography for the day. And Jaron's done a great job. Jaron has always done a great job. And he's in the DFW area. And this is my wife praying for me before I went and spoke at an engagement. And look, this is us again. This is one of our engagement photos as well. So shout out to Jaron Collins, man, because he just does what he does, man. Phenomenal photographer and amazing personality. And look, this is us this past weekend. My wife said, hey, I want to take these Christmas photos. And we was trying to take Christmas photos. And with 2 little kids, it's really, really difficult to be able to take your photos. So we got together. We were at church. I was working, and I was like, hey, there's a set up there if you want to go up there and we can take some photos. She said, cool. I mean, let's do it. Let's see what's up. So we took these photos, and now we have some Christmas photos. All right. So once again, man, shout out to my wife. Shout out to my wife. For 6 years, man, 6 years in the game, 6 years, 2 kids, 2 houses, and too many memories to even try to count. All right, man. So just want to show y'all, and celebrate my wife in that moment, and also just celebrate us, because me and her have been putting in some work, man. Because 6 years of marriage ain't nothing to sneeze at, ain't nothing to just blow past by. So here we are. But family, now what I want to do, now I want to get ready to transition as we get ready to get into our text for today. And we're going to go ahead and get ready to get into straight from the source, because y'all know we got to start off with the word. So let's go ahead and roll into the word here with straight from the source. And today we're going to be rolling a clip. And this clip is from Francis Chan. Right, this is gonna be from Francis Chan, and let's go ahead and roll. Let's go ahead and roll that clip now. We got Francis Chan. Yep. So this clip is gonna be from Francis Chan. Let's go ahead and roll that clip right now.
Don't believe the lie that I can't get out of this sin, because now you're calling God a liar. He says, no temptation has overcome you except that which is common to man. And God is faithful. He will not let you be tempted beyond what you can handle. But with that temptation, he'll always give you a way of escape so you can come out from under it. So I would say, don't believe in the lies. You have so much power. If you have trusted in Christ, if the Spirit is in you, you can overcome this. Don't believe the lie that.
So one thing that I want to really just break down here, and you hear Francis Chan reference the scripture 1 Corinthians 10 and 13. And y'all, it's so powerful, and also it's so encouraging to know that at the end of the day, that each and every one of us has struggles, we have challenges, we have things that we are faced with, right? Some might call it our vices, or some might call it an addiction. Some might call it a struggle, whatever you want to label it. But the text literally tells us, just as Francis Chan spoke to, that God will always create a way for us out of it. That's relieving. That should give you a little bit of relief. That should allow you to breathe a little bit, because family, so often we can seem, or we can feel as if there's no way out. We can feel hopeless. We can feel stranded. We can feel left high and dry. But the great thing about God, the dope thing about God being a good father and being an amazing father, is that he will always give us a way out. One of the things I can think about, as just thinking back to, when I was living my life and just living just in the world and just living the life that I want to live, living a life of pleasure and not ultimately living a life of purpose, right? Is that when I would get ready to do something that I had no business doing, because I already give my life to Christ, right? I would get ready to do something, right? I would hop in the car, or I would get out the car and I'm getting out of somebody's house, or I'm getting ready to do X, Y, Z, whatever it might be at that time. I always had a thought first, and I was like, John, do you want to do this? And then I get closer and I'm like, John, you shouldn't be doing this. Or then I would even think about the after effects of what's going to take place after I take the following action. I'm like, but yet still I would follow through and give into my desire and do what I wanted to do at that time. But the dope thing about God is that God, number one, God isn't mad at you. And God ultimately isn't going to hold a grudge for you sinning against him. However, he does call us to confess. He does call us to repent. That way, just as the scripture says, that he can throw our sins into the sea of forgetfulness. So I'm encouraging you today, and if you want to see the text and you want to refer to the text, then go to 1 Corinthians 10:13, because it says, no temptation has overtaken you, what accept is common to man, right? So this is not nothing new. This is something that's happened to each and every one of us, and something that, you know, will happen continually. But when God gives you a way out, take that way out. When God gives you an opportunity, take that opportunity. Family, so be encouraged today that there always is a way out, all right? And family, that's been straight from the source. Wanted to hit you quick, wanted to hit you with that this morning. And I want you to be encouraged, right? I want you to be encouraged that at the end of the day, God is always doing something. He's always up to something. He always wants you to get out. But at the end of the day, it's your decision. All right? It is your decision. About to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back with more Speak Your Success after this. Are you a new or budding entrepreneur looking to set your business up for success? Profit Mode is here to help you navigate your entrepreneurial journey with expert education and services. From tax planning and bookkeeping to selecting the right business structure, Profit Mode has you covered. They'll even educate you on how to properly set up your business for building credit so you can grow with confidence. Profit Mode's mission is to provide you with the tools and guidance you need to establish a solid foundation for your business. Whether you're just getting started or you're ready to take the next step, we're here to support your goals. Let Profit Mode help you turn that entrepreneurial dream into a reality with the knowledge and services to back it up. Your success starts with the right foundation. Contact Profit Mode today to get started. All right, family. All right, welcome back to Speak Your Success in the Morning. Want to go ahead and hit Speak Your Success Sports, right? Want to make sure that we hit our sports. Speak Your Success in the Morning. Y'all know we got to hit Speak Your Success Sports. So want to go ahead and get into that, and then from there, I got some content today to where we're going to talk about attacking our goals. And are we going to do New Year's resolutions this year, or are we just going to go for what we know and just make sure that we're able to accomplish the goals that we desire to accomplish? You understand me? All right. So as we get ready to transition into the sports, what I want to talk about just for a quick second, for a quick moment, is that there's been some stuff happening, right? First and foremost, what's been happening is that, hey, here we go. Okay. What's been happening is right here. Okay. So the Joker, oh man, the Joker has been having a historic season. And I mean, it seems like he always is, honestly, always rolling into a historic season. But, but ultimately what happened with the Joker the other day is that he had a knee injury. Okay. He had a knee injury. What happened? Okay. So ultimately, what happened with the Joker? He left the game after his left knee, okay? After he grabbed his left knee. And I want to get the actual I want to get the full explanation of the Joker's knee injury, right? And the full explanation was as shows. For the Joker, he ultimately suffered Joker. There we go. So he suffered a scary looking left knee injury, which it was a hyper extension of his left knee, right? This was December 29th against the Miami Heat after a teammate accidentally stepped on his foot, causing his knee to buckle backward, and he limped off the court and didn't return. They're currently awaiting an MRI for the severity of the initial analysis, which suggests that it could be a sprain. Bone bruise might be more likely than a severe ligament tear. Man, praying for the Joker, definitely praying for the Joker to have a speedy recovery there, because injuries are not fun. And injuries, ultimately, nobody likes to see it, but especially with the Joker having on his way right now to a historic career, man. So we definitely want to pray for him, pray for a speedy recovery there. And, because we want to see him back in action, because the Joker he's one of those guys. You understand me? One of those guys out there. But next up in Speak Your Success Sports, y'all, look what we got. What do we have here? So UNT, right? University of North Texas, just the other day, they won their bowl game. So shout out to them, right? They won their bowl game. Shout out to UNT. Shout out to all my people that are mean green. I know a lot of people, I always give them a hard time. But the unfortunate side of them winning the bowl game is that the entire core of their team, including a star quarterback who wasn't even recruited out of high school, is now transferring. And no one else seems to understand that eventually these schools are going to just stop playing and stop wanting to participate, because ultimately with him transitioning out, there's also 21 other players that transitioned as well. So this is crazy news. This is wild stuff right here. And hold on one second, y'all. My son is trying to get my attention. Hold on one second. Come here, buddy. Come around. Oh, hold on, buddy, wait. Go to mommy, buddy. Go to mommy. I'll come talk to you in just a little bit. Go to mommy, buddy. I'll come talk to you in just a little bit. Oh, it's cold up in here. All right. All right, family. So look. So the issue that keeps coming up is the transfer portal. And the thing that keeps on happening with the transfer portal, although we're in a time and a space now to where the transfer portal is something that allows individuals who at one point in time who may have had to choose a school that they might have wanted to go to a higher tier school, a higher caliber school. But now with the transfer portal, they can go in, they can say, hey, I'm just going to go to UNT or a lower mid-major or some of these other schools. And then they can perform at a high level. And then guess what? After they perform at the high level and they've shown people what they're capable of, now they can transfer on to a different school. So that not only happened at UNT, where there's 21 athletes transferring out, but then also at JMU, so James Madison University, their starting offense, the QB, the running back, the wide receiver, a tight end, a left tackle, a left guard, a right guard, y'all, all of their 11 starters will have to be replaced. But look, here's the other side of this coin. All of these people are not transferring for the sake of transferring. Some of them are graduating, right? And I can appreciate that. If you're graduating, then yeah, leave and go to another school if you still have some eligibility. I can't knock that, right? Because they're graduating, so they're done. And they might not want to get their master's or their terminal degree from the same institution they got their undergrad degree. So I'm not going to bash nobody for that. But what I will say is with this transfer portal business, this is wild when it comes to people transferring to transfer. Last night, I'm not going to say nobody's name, but last night I saw this gentleman who was declaring for the NFL draft, and I saw him thank like 5 schools. I saw him say, thanks to the University of Oklahoma, and thanks to the University of this, and thanks to this university. I'm like, wait, what in the world? Bruh, like what is going on? So this is one of those things, right, to where people will continue to transfer until the NCAA begins to put some legislation in place, right? They begin to put some guardrails around this information and these people being able to transfer up, down, all around, honestly. And I'm going to say this, and then we're going to transition into our main content for today. But the part that's the real kicker, because that's football, right? That's football. And basketball, yeah, the transfer portal is a thing also. But football is seeing the highest turnover. I'm seeing some teams to where the complete team has turned over. And at the end of the day, going to college and going to school is so you can graduate and get the degree, I would hope. However, if you go to a school and you transfer, and John Calipari was talking about this the other day, you go to a school and you transfer 4 times. If you're transferring 4 times, not only are you not graduating from that school, but you're not even getting all of the credits that you need to even go to the next class. Like if you're a junior, then you transfer, because a lot of times those credits aren't going to cross over. They're not going to transfer. So if you're a student athlete, you tapping into the show, I want you to just consider before you transfer. And I can relate, because when I was at the University of Texas at Tyler, I was very frustrated in my time. Granted, this had nothing to do with money. This had nothing to do with NIL. But I was just frustrated with the amount of play time that I had when I was at the University of Texas at Tyler. Like I was really mad. And my homeboy's like, hey John, they're having a tryout up at Southeastern, which is in Oklahoma. And I hopped in my car one weekend and I drove up to Oklahoma to try out for the team. I was ready to leave. I was ready to be done. But then I didn't get the eyes of the team. I didn't get picked up, whatever. But I was still ready to go if the opportunity presented itself. So consider, right? Like just consider the situation that you're in. The grass is not always greener. You might go to another school and you might get paid better than you were getting paid before. But are you going to have the level of experience that you want to have? Are you going to miss out on friendships and lose friendships? Are you not going to get that degree that you wanted to have so you have something to not only fall back on, but something to press forward with? So just consider these things. I didn't mean to go on that rant, but I just want y'all just to consider those things as you are getting in the spot and getting in the place where you're like, I want to transition. I want to leave. I want to move. But just slow down, okay? Slow down for a second and just make sure that this is really what you want, that this is what you want to do, all right? Family, I want to take a quick commercial break. And y'all, quick moment for station identification. If you are a creator and you're looking to start a podcast, this is something that's on your New Year's resolutions, your New Year's goals, something that you want to do, something that you want to accomplish. Well, look no further, y'all. Just go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com. All right, Get Paid with Podcasting. And there, what you will find, you will get access, just for you being a listener of Speaker Success in the Morning, you will get access to our 7-day trial to where you can dive into our podcast content. Not only do we show you how to get your podcast started, but we also show you how to be able to market your podcast. And even from there, the most often question asked of me, John, how do you monetize a podcast? I want to get started with the podcast, but John, I need to know, how can I monetize it first? We got that training in there too, all right? So look, check it out. Go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com. You can see our training on how to monetize the podcast. You can see the training on how to get your first TEDx talk. You can see your training on how to be a paid speaker. I have 6 bonus trainings included in the Get Paid with Podcasting program, all right? And you can get started for free. That's right, for free. You can get a 7-day trial. Then after that, it's just $47 a month, but you get access to all of that content, all right? And you get access to me so we can talk back and forth. John, what do you think about this podcast idea? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Well, go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com and go ahead and sign up. And I look forward to seeing you in the community. All right, let's get to it, y'all. Let's get back to it. So today I want to talk for a second about New Year's resolutions. Why are New Year's resolutions so hard to keep? Huh? Can anybody tell me, why are New Year's resolutions so hard to keep? Tell me in the comments, when was the last time that you said it was going to be the last time that you were doing a New Year's resolution for the first time? Okay, y'all, at the end of the day, let me know. I really want to know. But at the end of the day, the reason why these things are so hard and these things are so difficult to keep is because most resolutions ultimately are asking for a personality change, right? Not a behavioral change. And at the end of the day, the way we get results and the way we really elevate is that we need to have a behavioral change, not just hey, I'm going to willpower through it. I'm going to push through it. Okay? Because look, with New Year's resolutions, they're oftentimes fueled by pressure and not necessarily us having a level of clarity. Like, what are we doing? So we make resolutions from a place of, I should be better, right? This would instead of this would genuinely support my life. It's one thing of saying, man, I need to go outside and run. Man, I should have ran. Or it's me saying, wow, if I want to live longer and I want to be able to see my sons graduate and get married, maybe I should consider going outside, right? So this is one of those things to where if it's shame as the motivator, then yeah, we're not going to want to do it. And a lot of times, New Year's resolutions, they're so big, they're so gaudy, right? And they're also very vague. And if that's the case, and if you're not clear on what you're trying to do, well, then of course you're not going to be able to do it. And this is why when we get to a place and began to talk about change, and we began to talk about evolution, we began to talk about growth. This is where it requires a system versus just willpower. I'm going to will my way through. I'm going to push through. I'm going to make it happen. Are you though? Are you though? You've tried that before. I've tried that before. I've said it before. We're working out and, me enjoying eating these sweets and not wanting to move around and do different things like that. But when we began to put a system in place, this is when we began to see some success, right? So I want to encourage you today with this, right? We're about to roll into the content. So this is a therapist approved strategy, okay? Therapist approved strategy for the new year. And this is going to be, it's going to be simplistic. It's going to be simplistic. It's going to be realistic, but ultimately it's going to be kind to you. It's going to help you want to get the change and do what you need to do to really get that change. So the first thing we have to do, we just need to pick a direction, right? I don't want you to necessarily pick a goal. I want you to pick a direction, okay? And the reason why I say that is because instead of saying, I'm going to work out 5 days out the week, like I know, if you have not been working out for 1 day out the week, if you ain't been working out for 5 minutes, then like I know, that this is something that it's too big to start out, haven't worked out, and you're going to work out 5 days out the week. John, you can't do that. I have attempted that, and I don't even like the word can't, but nah, I could not do that. So the thing that I'm going to try, the thing we can try is I'm someone who's going to take care of my energy bar. I'm going to be somebody who can take care of what I have, right? And this is something that's going to keep you, it's going to keep you flexible instead of defeated, right? So instead of saying I'm working out 5 days of the week, how can I protect and how can I really keep the energy that I have? Well, I can keep it by working out. So I'm going to then get to step 2, and I'm going to choose the smallest possible action. And this is one of the things that has really helped me getting back into creating habits. It's starting with the smallest possible action. So you can ask yourself, what's the easiest version of this that I could do on my worst day? Come on, y'all. What's the easiest version that we can do on the worst day? Well, one thing would be 5 minutes of movement. I'm not going for 5 times a week working out, but 5 minutes of movement, I can manage that. I can do that. All right. What about this? 1 glass of water. If you're somebody who always drinks the juice, you're always drinking Coke, you're always drinking soda, I'm guilty. Okay. I like a good Coke. I like you drink the Coke and then got that bite. Woo. I can appreciate a good Coke. But 1 glass of water, right? So starting with 1 glass of water instead of getting veered off in different things like that. But then something else that we could do, right? Writing 1 sentence. If you're a writer, you want to put out a book, you've been working on this forever, 1 sentence. Just start with 1 sentence, okay? So if it feels like it's almost too easy, then you're doing it right. Because we're going for the system. We're going to ingrain the habit. We're going to where we get progress, okay? Progress. We need progress. And progress is going to really help us because we're now stacking habits. It's called habit stacking, right? So you're starting with something and it's a small action, but now you're doing it repeatedly. So now it's positioning you to do it even more and more frequently, okay? But we got to start slow. And then step 3 is attach it to something you already do. Come on, habit stacking. Come on, habit stacking, because habits stick when they're anchored. What about if you got your coffee brewing? You're like, you know what? Let me get in a quick stretch. You're already in the kitchen. During this time, you might get on your phone. You might scroll TikTok. You might scroll YouTube. You're already in the kitchen. Let's go ahead and get that stretch in. Yeah, let's go ahead and reach down. Or maybe you just journal right after you brush your teeth, right? So you just brush your teeth. You're going into the kitchen. You're waiting for your coffee to brew. While you're sitting there, let's just journal a couple of sentences. Today, I'm grateful for. Today, I'm most excited about. Right? These are things that we can begin to say and things that we can begin to do because guess what? We already have the time. All right? We already have the time. And there's no new schedule required because you're already doing a previous habit. You're just sliding in something right there with it. And then step 4 is we want to change the self-talk when you miss a day. Instead of, oh man, I messed it up. Man, I throw this whole day in the trash. I'll start over next Monday. Whoa, 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 whoa. We still got a whole rest of the week. What are we talking about here? We still have a whole rest of the week. You just gonna throw away the whole week because you missed the day potentially? No, 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 no. I can't allow that. You can't allow that. You don't even want that. Okay. But what about this? Missing day is a part of the process. And what will help me restart tomorrow? Maybe if you missed the day working out, and maybe it's because your shoes were in your car and it was cold outside. What if we get our shoes and then we put them right by our bed? We have socks already in there. We have our clothes laid out the night before. And we attempt to go to sleep 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes earlier than we typically would go to sleep. Now we're going to really set ourselves up for some success because we've put things in place to make the move easier. For this morning show that we do, getting up when my alarm goes off at 5:20 in the morning is not necessarily easy. Some days I can be behind. Some days producer Britt might be behind. But last night I said, let me clear off my desk. Last night I said, let me charge up my computer. Let me charge up my batteries. Let me do these things and put these things in place to where I'm ready to go in the morning so that when my son is crying just before the show, I need to feed my son. So I went in, I fed my son. But then guess what? I came right in here. I turned on everything and I was ready to rock, ready to roll because I was already prepared with my notes. I already had my batteries charged up, my devices charged up. I just sat down and was ready to rock. Consistency isn't about never missing the mark, right? That's never the case. But ultimately, it's returning without punishment. If you punish yourself, it's going to create a level of shame around the things that you're wanting to do and accomplish in a direction that you want to go. You want to be better. You want to be healthier. You want to get further. But if you beat yourself up, that's doing what my coach, Kendall Ficklin, used to say. That's called hustling backwards, okay? That's called hustling backwards. So look, if at the end of the day, right? If your resolution didn't stick before, it's not because you lack discipline, all right? Not because you lack discipline, but it's because the plan wasn't designed for a real human life and for the life that you have and you operate in, okay? That's what it is, y'all. It wasn't realistic. And honestly, that's not failure. That's feedback. So I want y'all to be encouraged today, man. Be encouraged about your New Year's resolutions, about your new goals, about your aspirations. Be encouraged. And let's get this ship going in the right direction. All right. So family, once again, this episode was sponsored by Get Paid with Podcasting, the only podcasting program that's going to go ahead and give you 7 days access, the only podcasting program that's going to show you how you can book your first TEDx talk. Going to show you how you can become a paid speaker, leverage that. And then also we have 4 other bonus trainings in there to help you not only grow your podcast, but we're going to help you start. We're going to help you market, and we're going to help you monetize. All right. So go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com to find out more information there about that program. Because like I said, you get a 7-day trial. So you get to get in there for 7 days. And then after that, it's just $47 a month. And y'all know, like I know, there ain't nobody doing that right now. Okay. For you to get real-time coaching and a program like that, helping you with speaking and TEDx and all of the things, y'all go to getpaidwithpodcasting.com. If you're ready to get your podcast up and running, stop playing. All right. So family, we're going to go ahead and wrap for today. But what I want to leave you with today is give yourself grace. Going into the new year, there's a lot of people dealing with a lot of things. And you might be one of them, right? Because depending on the day, I might be one of them. And I want you to know and reflect on the things that you've been able to move forward and progress with in 2025. But now, how can we continue to stack on to that going into 2026? All right. So family, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, because we all need it. We all need a little bit of kindness. We all need a little bit of kindness. And if we're not going to be kind to each other, then how can we expect anybody to be kind to us? That's all I got for y'all today, man. That's all I got. That's all I got. So family, remember, all right? Remember, speak your success, believe in your greatness, and continue to create the life and business of your dreams. Why would you and why should you live any other